And the reason you struggle is when you begin with anything other than a desire, you're going to have to force. A desire is not a definition. A desire is not a decision. A desire contains fire. Neville Goddard says your desires have their own plan, their own power of fulfillment. They do. And if you think that you've got to come up with a plan and you feel that you have to provide the power, you're not starting with a desire. You're not starting with a possibility. Odds are you're starting with a problem and you've defined your way out. Neville Goddard said, don't do that. The how is not your business. It really isn't. The only business that's yours is the who. Who are you choosing to be? I was feeling happy, loving husband. I was feeling held in home. And I was living in Pennsylvania, the land of the cold, right? It was cold, baby. Lots of snow. And I wasn't feeling held or home anymore. I was imagining held and home. And I was also imagining, what if I doubled my income and worked half the time? Wouldn't that be cool? And that's when I had a crazy idea. Let's make $100 offer, right? We'll do 3 emails back and forth, and I'll make you a custom little recording, and we'll have some fun. And Mikey in Melbourne bought one. Leanne in Melbourne bought one. Her sister-in-law bought one. They were members of a Forex trading group, and they all bought them. Then they had a crazy idea too. Let's fly this guy around the world. Let him train us for a weekend. I came down for 2 weeks. I stayed for 3, went home, and they all said I was Australia. It says, I found where I want to be. Bye. I discovered somebody who I wanted to spend my life with. I found home and held. And we danced, and we're still dancing 15 years later. Now, this is important because I didn't define the who, I didn't define the how, I didn't define the where, I didn't make a decision to. I danced with discovery. Right? I speak with certainty because I know who I am and how this works. And I danced with discovery. Most of y'all are making up definitions and you can't decide what to do to get the definition in your life. The moment a desire is upon you, that's when you accept it. If you were hungry, right? Food. If you were imprisoned, freedom. Happy Loving Teacher has a desire. And that's to be happy teaching. And I am. And I'm thankful for when people share dumb shit. Because that just invites me to share some gold. Because you can make this so eternally complicated if you make it mental. And this is worth writing down. Mental is not imaginal. And remarkable this past year, we've been exploring the 12 disciples. And one of them is the disciple of Bart. I love Bart. And Bart reveals that imagination is head and shoulders above the masses. Bart reveals that imagination is not mental. Mental is about stories. Once upon a time, this happened, and that happened, then we do this, so that happens, the end. I love stories, by the way. But imagination is about states, not stories. If you got some gold today, and you're just checking out who we are, I'm going to invite you to a 90-day experiment. And this is what's really, really cool. Can you imagine taking, 10, 15 minutes a day max and totally transforming your life in 90 days? Or at least making it a little bit better or different? Because a lot of people have spent hours on Reddit and hours on Facebook and hours on the YouTube, probably where you're finding me right now, and they just scroll and stroll. I'm going to invite you to a 90-day experiment where if you and I shared 1 cup of coffee every morning, I'd explore this with you, and then tell you, go have a great day. Catch you tomorrow morning. And then the next morning we got together for what? A cup of coffee. And I said, okay, so that's what we did yesterday. This is what we're going to do today. Have a great day. This is time-tested and proven. And it's totally new and improved. We've taken the old course, totally revamped it, added in 90 new videos, $1,000 worth of bonuses, live group calls every 90 days, and a Facebook group. Right? I don't know how you can go wrong except not to do it. Because I think your life is worth a 90-day experiment, an exploration in possibility, for about the price of a cup of coffee a day. My name is Mr. 2020. This is the Power of Imagination podcast, where we explore one thing and one thing only, the wonder-working power of the human imagination. You'll notice we don't talk about sigils and special numbers and activations and brainwave recordings and all that bullshit. What we talk about is you and your life and your desires, because your desires matter. And like Neville Goddard said, your desires contain their own plan and their own power of fulfillment. In other words, fire. Have a lovely day. See ya. Join us. Come on. Or just wait. I'll tell you what, in 90 days, right? Imagine doing this for 90 days. Yep, I'm still scrolling. I'm still strolling, Mr. 20. 90 days later, I'm still doing it. All right, we could become friends. See ya.